Just win, baby.
What's going on, everybody? I know who it is, man. It's your boy ROB, Raider Rob here, and you're now tuning in to that channel. That's right, Raider Nation Central, where we talk about all things, the things Raiders. You know what I'm talking about? So listen, got a good little show for you today. You know what I'm saying? It's that midweek. We're gonna kind of touch on some topics here, man. You know, about what happened last week, what's going on this week, moving forward, about current injuries and things that we know as such. All right. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me. If you're already a subscriber, give me a like. You know what I'm saying? Help your boy out, move the algorithm for me. Um, First and foremost, man, a lot of people are really talking about some things that Antonio Pierce said. And if you go on my last video, I touched on it on my reaction. And what it was that he was talking about at the end, not at the end of the game, but he believed at the game against Carolina, there was some players that made business decisions. Now, I will go and say that Twitter finds it, okay? And where they want to do is they want to talk about Jack Jones. And if you haven't already seen it, I'm kind of going to show the play here and there. I don't really know if it really matters. I don't necessarily know who exactly he was talking about, right? But Jack Jones definitely made a case for itself, right? So let's just go here and see what he was talking about. You know, like I said, business decision plays. Now, they only found Jack Jones. The way that Antonio Pierce was saying it made it seem like it was more than one person. So right now, Jack Jones has been the topic of discussion. And I don't know why, but let's just look at the play overall. Okay, I'm gonna go to this short right here. And we're gonna listen to this sound bite and just kind of let you guys take this. Well, this is what I want to show you. I want to show this at first and then show you what this says right here. So let's take a look.
Yeah, the clip that was Davante sitting on the bench as the game went to halftime and not running it with the team right away. I saw, though, on tape, and this shouldn't be too surprising to anyone who is a Patriots fan, Jack Jones, cornerback. If we're talking business decisions, he had a tackle attempt on Chuba Hubbard where he was content to not tackle Chuba Hubbard one-on-one, and the ball bounced outside in the fourth quarter. And then even later than that, he actually didn't even touch it. He was involved in the play and backed away. Obviously had some decision-making issues in his past. They've continued here. Antonio Pierce and his comments following the Raiders' loss to the Panthers.
I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions and will make business decisions going forward as well.
After that, I'm like, who could have, it's Jack Jones. It 100% was Jack Jones. Yeah, the clip.
Shout out to that podcast for that.
I know you're upset with the performance.
Shout out to them for that, man. That was pretty cool. Now they did show that, and this is one thing I wanted to reiterate about that was that Jack Jones took to Twitter and in response to what was being said about him. All right. And he kind of made a good case, but then again, he's kind of like probably trying to, say, basically he's trying to not make himself look bad. All right. Jack Jones had, I think, 7 tackles. Jones had made a comment regarding saying that I had 7 tackles, and guys are basically attacking his character, saying that he he gave up. He didn't want to tackle. They brought up Davante, and they also brought up the fact that Aiden O'Connor was in. It's kind of, here's the thing. We don't really know fully who all it was because according to Pierce, if he's saying Davante Adams didn't want to go out there and play or made a business decision, I don't really know based off what, because majority of the time, what that would either mean is either Davante didn't want to go grab a ball and alligator arm something, or just wasn't giving his all on his routes, right? Business decisions. Let me tell you something about business decisions when Pierce is talking about that. I do not believe he was speaking about anybody on the offensive side. And if they was, you will see alligator arms. That's the notion, right? Most of the time, business decisions are made because of defensive plays. Like, I don't want to make that tackle. That one get me hurt, and you might have thought this game was over. And that's what happened. When you check out, you lose that motivation, you lose that engine to keep driving you. So the Raiders really have to reevaluate some of their players and see where they go from there. Now, for the most part, a lot of these guys tried their best, but again, Carolina Panthers put a whooping on them. Like Pierce said, there was nothing to take away from that. I talked about a lot of this on my last video, and I don't want to kind of harp on the overall game, just some of the backlash that's coming this week regarding that. Also, this week, man, we lost Epps. Epps was diagnosed with, I believe, with a torn ACL. Just want to say to Epps, man, get well. Hope to see you back on the field. The Raiders actually, I believe, have since called up. I'll make sure I pronounce his name right. They called him up off the practice squad. I knew Isaiah Pola Mayo. He's replacing Epps Sunday, and he's in line to be the starter. Beside Trayvon Morag for the rest of the season. I don't know if the Raiders are going to try and go out and get anybody else. I don't really know if they are looking for anybody else. But if they are, good for them. That's probably going to be some backup news. Right now, the injury, I'm telling you now, man, we are getting riddled with injuries, right? We are taking on some injuries. Losing Kuntz kind of hurts. Crosby's dealing with the high ankle sprain, but of course he talked about it on his podcast, the Rush podcast, that he was not going to let that hinder him. He also made mention that it's not getting worse. So he said immediately after the game, he if you didn't know, he injured his ankle. I think he said second to the last play of the Ravens game. Pierce kept him kind of monitored. He was not in on every down. If you notice, he's really got that ankle secured. It's a high ankle sprain. So he has a brace on it and it's wrapped. So he's not able to really kind of be as mobile as he would like to be, which the fact of him still being out there, you still got to pay attention to him. Tyree Wilson, we were anticipating on him having an emergence this year, and it's not fully going there yet. So it's week 3. We're going into week 4. We're playing the Browns, and we're just gonna have to keep moving from there. My take is that on this, and I want to take the time right now to talk about the Raiders organization as a whole, and also the fan base. And if you follow me on IG, I'm promoting just things with the Raiders. I'll go on people's comments, and I'll leave comments talking about the Raiders. But what I dislike is that we live in this society where you do one thing bad and you're no good. Okay, people are really shooting Gardner Minshew down and saying start Aiden O'Connell. Well, I'm pretty much not advocating for Gardner Minshew to stay the quarterback. I don't care who the quarterback is. To me, the Raiders' problem isn't the fact that we don't have a franchise quarterback, because as Davante and them has now just basically let them know that the Raiders wanted Jalen Daniels. Okay, we didn't get him. You got to move on. All right. Do I think they probably would have went after Michael Penix if he fell somewhere, outside the first round? Of course. Do I think they would have picked up any of those other quarterbacks? Yes. That was just my assumption. Assuming you can make an ass of yourself, go from there. Anyway, I don't really know if a lot of the Raiders fans are really kind of just naive in the point of just believing that Aiden O'Connell is our savior. We don't have a savior. All right. Aiden O'Connell played a lot of games last year and he couldn't win the starting job from Gardner Minshew. I don't believe that they went into this saying Aiden O'Connell is not our starter. I believe they went into it saying you are a starter. Show us that you are. On tape, guys, you got to say just because you seen him play the last quarter and say, oh, he moved the ball. Well, they all can do that. And he was playing at the end of the game under a soft coverage. I mean, again, Carolina's up by that many points. At that point, they already know this is clock management at that point. Even if you're marching down the field, but you're eating up clock, they don't care. Because then they'll just try to hold the ball as long as they can. They were up by over. I mean, let's be honest, man. They had over 33 points. They had 7 going into the fourth. They scored 15 in the fourth. They were still down 2 tuds, right? So don't let that go over your head, right? Let's calm down. Let's not really look at this as like we need to make a switch right now. I believe that most Raider fans are conscious enough and understand, hey man, this is a process. Like if you guys, like I said earlier, if you guys are looking for this team to go 15-2, 16-1, 14-3, you're not really trying to build something. You want something quick. You're tired. I get it. If you're tired, lay your flag down. All right, lay your flag down, man. Go jump on a bandwagon somewhere. I don't care, or just quit watching it until they get good, and then you can talk your stuff and get it backed up by their winning. All right, this is a process. I've been a Raiders fan for a while. I've been rolling with them. This is my team. I ain't going nowhere, right? Good and the bad and different. I like the way the process is going. Yeah, there's certain things I would want different, but I'm on the outside looking in. I don't get those choices. As fans, we just get to be very subjective. All right. So with that, I just think that a lot of the fan base is tired, but I could tell that Pierce is tired. I could tell that the players are tired. I can tell that the organization as a whole wants to put a winning football product on the field. Hey, man, there's a process that comes with that, right? You have to create that culture. When's the last time you guys seen a real Raider winning culture, right? Probably not really since the first Gruden era. A little bit of the Del Rio, but outside of that, there was nothing else. So take that with a grain of salt. All right, just learn to know that this is a process. This wasn't something that I believe that would have been, especially not getting the quarterback that they wanted, was going to be done overnight. I believe they want to be a defensive juggernaut. And I will say this, barring what happens this season, right? As far as either quarterback play or defensive play, they're definitely going to make some splashes more next year. I will say that. This team will get increasingly better because of no salary cap issues and the ability for them to kind of load up more money in certain places that they were kind of reserving for right now. I know guys want them to just go out and just start signing people and just putting names on paper, but that just really doesn't work for me, right? So I want to make that very clear that the Raiders are definitely looking to build and not just buy players for monetary value. So I hope you guys really just take your time with it, man. The Raiders are going to be the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's just we don't have a winning culture yet, and that has to be established. I believe we got the right people in the building for it, though. Right? Pierce is a young head coach, and for the fans to just kind of say, "Oh, Pierce, this is all on Pierce." Of course, man, you got to take the wins and the losses. Now, one thing I will say regarding Pierce and this organization, I will say with knowingly that I am not a fan of our offensive scheme. Meaning Whatever you guys have Getsy dialing up right now, I am not a fan of it. Okay. We are not working ourselves into a short yardage plays. We don't have very many 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 1s. We have to get to where we are ahead of the chains. We need to start working to get ourselves ahead of the chains. That's one thing I will say. Getsy's got a lot of work to do, and if Getsy can't get it done, then I feel at that point the organization needs to make a move on from Getsy, just like they did with Lombardi last year. Okay, you got to change that, because that's what you need. The fact that we haven't even ran over for 100 yards yet in a game, I don't like that. Right? I know we have an offensive line woes. We're trying to get the right scheme together. We're trying to put the right pieces of our offensive line together. You know, a lot of that, I get that. But I also know too that a lot of that should have been prepared before we got to this point. So the offensive line woes are going to happen, but the schemes that we got for our running lanes and just doesn't seem we're committing real heavily to that. The fact that utilizing Brock Bowers and the receiving core as we should doesn't seem necessary. I've seen a lot of comments where people say Gardner Minshew holds the ball too long. Well, that's just coaching. Okay. Gardner, that's coaching. A lot of this stuff is coaching, right? This isn't productivity. It's just coaching up somebody better. Like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-0 right now with a guy that got just basically left for nothing. Right. And you look right now where Chicago Bears are. Look where the Raiders are. You look where the Steelers are. You know, you make your own assumption off of that. Right. So with that being said, man, hey, look, I appreciate you guys for taking time talking with me. Like I said, this is just my midweek review. I just kind of want to get on here and touch base with a few things. Saturday, I will be doing my preview for the game coming up. Hopefully, I will have Branch Huddle on with me, kind of talk about the game and just see where we go from there. But with all that being said, man, hey, look, if you're a Raider, we Raiders for life. This is what we do. All right. We know it's going to be good and bad, but when it's good, oh man, we are going to drink from fountains of gold. All right. When it's bad, we got to deal with it. But listen, I still talk my shit. You know, it's still Raiders all day. Shout out to Mr. Fitz. All right. But again, man, I appreciate you guys for just standing here, talking with me, listening to me. Again, I drop videos every Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays for right now. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if this is something that, you know, that we can grow from. Maybe not. If you think that we should start Aiden O'Connell, let me know. If you think that it's a defensive issue, let me know. If you think that it's a coaching issue, let me know. All I want you to do is just stay true to the Raiders, man. Don't give up. It's a process. Like I said, all good things come with time, okay? So with that, when I see you, all right? So that's it. Rob Raider, Raider Nation Central. Talk to you soon. Have a good one, all right? Take it easy.